All right, let's talk about a tool that's on, well, pretty much everybody's computer these days, Microsoft Power BI. It has absolutely taken the business world by storm. But behind that massive success, there's a really interesting story. It's a story about pure genius, and maybe a perfectly designed trap. So today, we're going to unpack that. Yeah, because when you really start to dig into it, you have to ask yourself, is Power BI this incredible, perfect tool that's just empowering everyone to work with data? Or is it a perfect trap? It's a fascinating question, and we're definitely going to look at both sides of it.
Okay, first up, a familiar genius. Let's dig into why everyone seems to love Power BI. I mean, why does it feel so right from the moment you open it? Well, its genius isn't about creating something totally new. Nope, it's actually much, much smarter than that.
So here's the secret sauce to its amazing user experience. It's not some wild, revolutionary design. It's something so simple, but so powerful. They just kept the look and feel of Windows and Microsoft Office. Think about it. For literally millions of people, opening Power BI for the first time doesn't feel like learning a brand new, scary tool. It feels like coming home.
And just look at the recipe for how they put this thing together. They didn't start from a blank page. No way. They were smart. They played to their strengths. They took the awesome flexibility of Excel, right? Then they added the solid data structure you get from Access. And then, this is the key part, they supercharged the whole thing with Power Query and Power Pivot. It's like they took these incredible features, broke them out of their old homes, and built this absolute powerhouse of a tool.
What's really brilliant, though, is how they managed the learning curve. It's like a perfectly controlled climb. You can jump in, get some quick wins with the easy stuff right away, You don't have to be a data scientist on day one. And that creates this really smooth ramp up to the more advanced stuff. It's a lot like that classic journey so many of us took, going from being an Excel whiz to finally tackling the more structured world of Access. It just feels natural.
And here's a really key part of the whole strategy. Power BI doesn't replace tools like Excel. It actually makes them stronger. And that creates this incredible multiplier effect across the entire Microsoft ecosystem. Suddenly, 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 2. It equals like 5. The whole thing becomes so much more powerful than just the individual pieces. And that's where you see these huge success stories.
So you add all that up, the familiarity, this clever mix and match innovation, that gentle learning curve, and what do you get? You get the undisputed king of self-service BI. I mean, it is the go-to tool. Whether you're a casual user who just needs to whip up a quick chart, or you're a hardcore analyst building these super complex models, Power BI is where you land. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? All of this convenience, all of this incredible power and ease of use, well, it doesn't come for free. There's a price to pay, a hidden, long-term cost that is absolutely crucial to understand.
And that price has a name, vendor lock-in. You've probably heard of it. It's a classic business strategy, right? You make it so difficult or so expensive for a customer to switch to a competitor that, well, they're pretty much trapped. But here's the thing. This doesn't just impact the company's bottom line. It has a real effect on the careers of the actual people using these tools.
Now, with Power BI, this lock-in is really a two-headed beast. On one hand, you've got the obvious one, technical lock-in. I mean, if your company already runs on Microsoft everything, it's just plain easier and cheaper to plug Power BI into that system. That's classic stuff. We all get that. But then there's this other kind. It's way more subtle and honestly, maybe a lot more dangerous. It's called functional lock-in. All right, section 2, the functional trap, or what I like to call the illusion of mastery. So let's talk about how this trap actually works. It's so sneaky because it makes you feel like you're becoming a data genius when what you might actually be doing is just getting really, really good at operating one specific machine. Because the tool is just so good at giving you quick answers, right? You can solve an immediate problem in record time. But that incredible efficiency can lead to what you might call disposable results. These one-off analyses for one-off problems. It gets the job done today, but it doesn't always build up that deep foundational expertise you need to tackle really complex, scalable problems from the ground up. And this is what some people call the black box effect. Instead of taking a step back and thinking, okay, what's the right methodology here? Your brain just goes straight to hunting for the right button or the right function inside the tool. It pushes you towards this click and publish mindset. It feels fast, sure, but over the long run, it can really stifle your creativity and analytical rigor. And what you're left with is a graveyard of reports that can't be reused or built upon. Sound familiar?
It's kind of like the old days of a million disconnected Excel files all over the network. And this really gets to the heart of the matter. Think about the skills you're actually building. Getting amazing at a language like DAX? Super impressive, for sure. But it's a proprietary skill. It makes you a rock star inside the Microsoft ecosystem, but step outside that world and it's not so useful. Now compare that to universal skills. We're talking SQL, Python, R. These are skills you can take with you to any company, to hundreds of different tools. So you have to ask, are you investing in a vendor or are you investing in your own career? Which leads us to this really critical question, and this is for managers, for analysts, for anyone learning this stuff. Are we training true problem solvers, people with flexible, transferable skills, or are we just training expert button pushers for one specific product? Okay, so let's set the whole trap argument aside for a second, because you just can't deny it. The success of Power BI is an absolute masterclass in strategy. Seriously, for anyone in product management or business strategy, there are some incredible lessons in their playbook. I mean, the playbook is just genius. First, their product positioning was perfect. They made Power BI feel like Excel's cool, powerful sibling, not some random new tool. That created this amazing ecosystem synergy, where using Power BI actually makes you want to use Excel more, and vice versa. And the innovation itself was what you'd call constructive innovation. They weren't starting from scratch. They were just brilliantly recombining ingredients they already knew worked. And the ultimate lesson here, for a company like Microsoft that already owns the desktop, that familiar user experience wasn't just a nice to have. It was their single biggest weapon. But as we all know, no empire lasts forever. And the very ground that Microsoft's advantage is built on, that complete ownership of the desktop, is starting to shake. There are massive tech shifts happening that are changing the rules of the game. Think about it. In the past, it was simple. The world ran on PCs, and PCs ran on Windows. Microsoft pretty much owned the entire work environment, full stop. But now, in this era of mobile phones and the cloud, Windows just isn't the default anymore, and that has kicked the door wide open for competitors, especially cloud-native companies like Amazon and Google, who were basically born and raised in this new world. And so now you've got competitors, especially Google, building out their own deeply integrated cloud-first ecosystems. We're talking about Android, Chrome OS, Google Workspace, the whole shebang. They're playing a totally different game. And it's a game that really appeals to a whole new generation of workers who grew up on the web, not on a Windows desktop. And so all of this brings us back to a really fundamental choice. And this is a choice for companies, but it's also a choice for you personally. In a world where technology is changing faster than ever, where do you put your biggest investment? Do you pour all your time and energy into mastering specific proprietary tools that honestly could be old news tomorrow? Or do you invest in the flexible, universal skills of your people, of yourself, to make sure that your most valuable asset, your brain, stays independent, innovative, and ready for whatever the future throws at you?